everybody, this is Axter99. Welcome back to A Beginner's Guide to Creativerse, Episode 3. In the first episode, we talked about basically the very first title screen that you'll come to in Creativerse and how you can get into your own game or go to a friend's game or invite friends into games and things like that. That's in episode number 1. Episode 2, we talked basically about the user interface, which is everything you see on the screen here. We talked about how to get rid of the chat window here by hitting Alt, clicking on the red button to get rid of that. Every time you log in, you'll see that chat window and you'll need to close out of it if you don't want to use it. Hit Alt again to go back to where you're looking around. And we also talked about stamina in your health bar, that you would right click items and you can use any of the hotbar items down below in the 6 slots there anytime you want to use an item. So you'd put usable items in there. We also talked about the teleporter here and how that works. How right now you can have, everybody has one teleporter that they can place anywhere in the world, and that's going to be changing. I was just reading on the forums that they are going to be changing the way the teleport system works in the very next update. And so anything here in this video that you're watching in these beginner guides, keep in mind that it's the end of August. This game just came out in early access earlier this month. So if you're watching these videos, 2, 3, 4 months down the line, a year down the line, whatever, realize that a lot of the things that I'm talking about now very likely might have changed to some degree. The basic concept for the game should remain the same, however, so you can still take a lot of the same principles that I'm talking about in these videos and apply them to the Creativerse that, that's available to you now. Now, I do want to talk real quickly about the change that they're quickly going to look at doing in the next update to the teleport system. They're going to completely do away with everybody having a teleporter and everybody having a portal, the gem there, the portal gem that everybody has. Those are going to be completely gone, and teleporters are going to be something that you start crafting once you get to the obsidian level. You start mining obsidian with extractors, you'll be able to start crafting teleporters. And you'll no longer have a gem that you'll use to teleport this system. Instead, you'll have to go to one of the existing teleporters. Once you go to an existing teleporter, you'll have a choice of all the other teleporters in the world where you want to go. So kind of think of it as, a mailbox system, or, a phone number system, rather. So basically you go into one teleporter, you're going to be able to dial up any other teleporter that's out there and basically go there just from going to that teleporter. So that's kind of the way it'll work. And those will all be craftable items. You'll actually have to craft those items, and you'll have to be a little bit advanced. I think what they're seeing as a problem here with the current system, everybody only has one teleporter. So if I was playing a single player game, well, what if I made my home here? And then what if I wanted to be able to teleport down into a deep, dark cave on the other side of the island? Well, I wouldn't be able to do that by myself. But with being able to, craft my own teleporters, I would be able to make my own teleporters in a single-player game where I could actually move to different parts of the world or put teleporters down in a cave or whatever without requiring me to, group up with other people or play with other people to be able to do that. Now, this game is going to be a lot more fun if you do play it with friends or you play online and you get other people playing, with you. Obviously, when you group up and you play a game like this with other people that you don't know, you always take a chance of them being, punks or griefing you, or, maybe you don't speak the same, or maybe they use vulgar language and you don't, you're just like with any human interaction, you could have differences that could make it not so pleasing to one party or the other. But for the most part, if you invite people and meet people in a game like this, most of the time I think you're going to have a better time than just playing it alone. So, keep that in mind and think about, going on one of the playful servers at some point, or joining one of your friends on Steam, or maybe making some friends on Steam and joining their server and see what, see what kind of stuff they're crafting, see how they're designing their tunnels or where they're making their home, because you have infinite possibilities in a game like this. So the main thing I'm trying to tell you here is, keep the basic principles of what I'm telling you, but the whole world and everything that's craftable now when I make these videos could be completely different as far as the requirements to make it, how useful it is, everything else at a later date, because they're developing this game and trying to make it better all the time, and that's going to, definitely require making some changes and testing different ideas and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. So when you're here in the forest, though, there's, at least right now, there's a few things you want to go ahead and look for, okay? And we didn't even get, last video, we did not even get into how to gather any kind of resources or how to gather anything. Now right now, with your power glove as it is when you spawn into the world, you can gather things like basic grass and dirt, and the way you'll know that is you kind of get halfway close to something, right? Like this block of grass here. And I know it's a block of grass because I can see that right down here. Right down here I see exactly what this item is. Okay? So if I was to move back a little bit though from this item, I can't see the name of the item, and I also don't have that green block border around the item. So that means I'm too far away to reach it. So I'd want to step a little bit closer. Right there is about my reach on that particular block. I can see the name of it in the bottom left now, and I also see a green border around it. That green border means that I can actually harvest that. I can suck that up through my power glove in my right hand that you see in front of you. So to suck anything up and basically take any item, you just simply hold your left mouse button down and you'll harvest that material. Now I see it went down to my hotbar, and the number 3 shows 1 block of grass. If I go ahead and do that with the next one, I'll have 2 blocks of grass down there, number 3, 3 blocks of grass, 4 blocks of grass, 5 blocks of grass, and 6 blocks of grass. Now 6 blocks of grass is about all you need right now. You will need 6 blocks of grass to, I believe it's make a, let's see, if it's a, I forget exactly what it is that you make. No, but it must be your processor, because I think the processor requires grass. One of these items takes grass to make, and so you'll want to get 6 blocks of grass. Another thing you want to get a lot of, you're going to want to look in the forest. Another reason I had you go to the forest is because here is where you're going to find these big cragwood trees. Okay? And the cragwood trees are a dark bark, and they're some of the biggest trunk trees in the game. And you'll know those when you actually see them, just like right here. Those are ashen wood trees, the white trees. You really don't need that wood. The wood you want to get is this dark wood here. And when I put my cursor on it, you'll see that it says cragwood. So I would like you to gather at least 60 to 80 cragwood. And you can do this pretty quickly by simply holding your mouse button down and then moving your cursor as soon as you acquire 1 block. So you don't have to let go of the mouse button every time you get a block and then do it again. You can simply hold the mouse button down and move your cursor. Be careful in a situation like this that you don't fall all the way down there, because you could get pretty well hurt. It's a pretty good fall. Okay. I see that's dirt. I really don't want dirt. I don't know of anything dirt's useful for. I'm sure it can be used in something, but I don't know of anything right offhand. Okay, so you're going to want to get this wood. There's a couple of other things I want to tell you to look out for while you're crafting. And don't worry if you don't get everything that I'm telling you to get in this video, because as you start crafting items, you'll see what you need to get. And as you get more familiar with the game, you're going to kind of know where that stuff is just by experience. But another thing that you really would definitely want to get, besides a bunch of wood, you can see that I got 28 cragwood down there in my number 4 slot. But you want to look for these cragwood trees, and look where you see these vines here. It looks just like that. You definitely want to get the vines. Now when I actually take this vine in, watch my cragwood on the bottom. It shows how much cragwood I have on the bottom in the number 4 slot. Notice that even though I got a big chunk of cragwood, I didn't increase the amount of wood, because what I'm getting right here is only the vines. It's not giving me cragwood and vines, it's just giving me vines. So be sure you keep that in mind and don't think you're collecting cragwood when you're actually not. But you do want to collect a lot of these vines that you see. Up here there's no more vines, but I'm going to go ahead and continue to collect this cragwood. And you can step right under it so that you can get as much of it as you can. You don't really need to try to climb up to get every piece of wood, you know, unless you just want to do that. Don't worry about the tree falling on you or anything like that. There isn't any physics, at least at this time, you know, that'll cause anything to fall on you by weight. That is one suggestion I, suggested to the developers, is to, make things have a physics system so that if you did that, the tree would fall on you. I thought that would be kind of cool, but right now, at least, that doesn't work like that. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look basically through the forest. Anything that looks different is what you're looking for, okay, that you can actually take in. So, there's a ton of leaves, basic leaves. You really don't need those right now. They're not that useful. But anything that kind of stands out as you look around. Now, as I look around here, see those yellow flowers? All those yellow flowers are useful. It may not be worth it to me to try to climb that high to get those, because I might be able to find those lower if I just look around a little bit. So we'll look around and see if we can find yellow flowers a little easier accessible. So I don't want to have to climb all the way up there just for one flower. But here's one thing that you can get. These do stand out. They're red mushrooms, and these are used for healing. Now you can either make these into healing potions, or you can eat them by themselves. Eating the mushrooms by themselves just give you a sliver of health back, but they can definitely be useful, you know, in a time of need. Now again, it looks like it's getting to be nighttime, and I think we already talked about at night. You see the glowing in the dark monsters, so be careful of them while you're wandering out at night. It's better to go ahead and try to get some kind of shelter built, you know, during the nighttime, so you can kind of get in and out of harm's way. To build a home, though, you're going to want to collect some resources, and you're also going to want to collect enough resources to make at least basic torches. Because I could dig a house in the side of a hill somewhere, but if it's dark in there, monsters can be spawned in the dark, kind of like Minecraft. So, especially if you log out and your home is dark and you don't have any torches in there, when you log back in, you're probably very likely to log back in and have monsters in your home, and you definitely don't want that, so you want to have some lighting in your house. So just keep wandering around, looking for more cragwood, looking for like yellow flowers, blue flowers, red flowers, anything in the trees that's, you know, not too hard to get. Now one thing that's definitely worth climbing up that high to get is beeswax. Now I know I saw some beeswax somewhere. Again, I'm looking through. You don't really need this white ashen wood itself, but one thing you do want to collect is this moss here, and that's definitely very useful, especially early on in the game, to get as much moss as you can find. You don't need a ton of it, but getting some moss is definitely helpful. It helps you make the basic torches I was talking about, for one. So I'm going to go ahead and gather up some of this moss. I mean, it's right here, I might as well. So it takes a little bit of time to go in and gather all this stuff and kind of learn what to gather, what doesn't, you know, but that's part of the fun. And you know, that's the main thing to keep in mind too when you're playing any game, not just this game, or, you know, any game that you're going and playing. If you're not having fun doing it, you know, why are you even playing? If this is a chore to you, if this is just absolutely not fun, then this might not be the game for you. You know, the whole idea is to basically try to have fun in any game that you play. A lot of people, I think, play these games and they try to advance to, you know, whether if it's a level system. Here you don't have a level, and, you know, or anything like that. But a lot of these games people play and they try to advance to the end of the game, basically, as quickly as possible. It's like they're on a mission to beat the game as quickly as they can. They want to get to the end before anybody else does. You know, they're trying to set a record time on how quick they can beat the game. And they basically turn playing the game into a chore. You know, they turn it into work, where they're just working as fast and furiously as they can to get to the very end of the game, because they think that there's no fun to be had right now, right here. So what I want you guys to think about, whether you're playing this game or any other game, you know, if you're not having fun from the start, why are you even playing it? Because the purpose of going into a game like this is to have fun. You know, have fun with what you're doing, and if you don't enjoy it from the start, you know, really, what's the point of even playing it? And that's really the idea. So, you know, it might not be the game for you if you're not having fun in any game right at the start. So, you notice here I'm getting a lot of wood. I already have 99 cragwood. I'd started another pile there in my 6th slot. So I've got plenty of cragwood, so I'm not going to bore you guys with me getting even more wood. I'm going to go ahead and try to avoid some of these monsters until I can get something else built, like a better sword or better weapon than a vine. I am going to collect some more red mushrooms, though, and I want to collect at least one yellow flower. And I want to show you guys how you can... Here's what I'm talking about, beeswax. This is really low. Usually you don't see it this low. You definitely want to collect that. You will be needing that to craft some very useful items here soon. Okay. I think I've got plenty of wood. I've got plenty of moss at this point. If I find some more vines, I'd like to get some more vines. Definitely need to get some more beeswax, and I want to get some flowers as well. Now I thought that I want to show you guys kind of how to climb up as well, like when you see something high like flowers or beeswax. But, you know what, I'm kind of lost. I kind of ran in circles. I could find my way back to where I was if I look around enough. Look at those monsters over there. Those are like rocksters is what they call those. And those are over there kind of in the desert by the sand, and that's typically where you find those creatures. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is, I mean, you can kind of, if you want to play around and take a chance, I mean, you can take a chance on just jumping. And I just jumped there from the cliff over into this tree. The main reason I did that is because I want these red flowers here. They kind of look purple. they definitely come in useful. Let's jump back over here, and as you know, just play around with the game. If you die, it's not really a big deal. You're going to respawn, and you know, you'll lose everything that you've collected, but you're going to drop everything in a death urn, a death grave that you can actually go back in. As long as you go back to that grave, it's really easy to get there. You can regather anything you lost. So nothing's really, you know, not a matter of life and death. You don't lose the game forever if you die or anything. So don't be scared to death of dying or anything. I mean, again, remember to have fun. Now this game does have a lot of like caves and stuff like that, as I can kind of see here. Some of these caves go down pretty deep and get pretty dark, and that's where you're going to find some of your more deadly monsters. Remember how I told you to look for things that stand out. So I see these yellow flowers kind of stand out. I want to kind of get up there and try to get some of those. But also looking at this dirt, I see here brown mushroom. And again, when I collect that, I'm not getting a block of dirt. I'm only getting the mushroom. So these mushrooms can definitely come in really useful. I'm going to go ahead and take a step down here and grab this one. While I'm down here, I want to show you guys something about your power glove as well. Notice that I don't have a power cell there where the red block is, right to the right of where it says coal node. Okay, but when you're harvesting this stuff, remember how I told you that green border? That green border means it is something that you can actually harvest with your power glove. So I can actually take in this block of dirt, and it tells me what it is right in the bottom left there in the white letters. So I can get this dirt if I want to, and I can get those leaves, and I can get the wood, as we already saw, without any kind of power cell needed. However, if you see a red block like right here on the stone, that means that I can get it with my power glove, but I need to have a higher end power cell to get that. So, you know, later on when I get a power cell, my first power cell is a wood power cell. When I make that, I'll be able to gather this stone and all these different stone blocks that'll be green to me. But later on there'll be something, you know, another kind of material, like for example right down there is some bedrock. With a wood power cell, the bedrock is still going to be red to me, and I would need to advance my power cell again before I could actually harvest and take in the bedrock. So red basically means you can actually gather this item, but you need a higher power cell. So remember that. So basically green is good, green is go, you can get it. Red is stop, you cannot, you know, you can't suck that in until you get a higher end power cell in your glove. Okay. Now the only other border you might see on an item is a blue border like this on this coal node. Any kind of ore or coal, for example, you'll see a blue border around. That means that no matter how far I advance my power glove with a power cell, I will never be able to suck this in through my hand like this. I could do this all day long with the most advanced power cell in the game, and I still wouldn't be able to acquire this through my hand. The only way to gather this in a blue border item is to make an extractor. Now you can also find extractors. Sometimes you'll find random chests throughout the world. I don't see any yet, but you will see some treasure chests in random locations, and they just have items in them, and sometimes you'll find an extractor in one of those. But for the most part, you can build extractors as well. And we'll talk about that more in the next video on making extractors, but you'll need extractors to get anything that has that blue border around it. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to show you guys how to climb up in a tree, and the easiest way to do that right now. So let's say that I find, you know, some beeswax, or I want to get these flowers up here in this tree. So what you do, the easiest way to do this is to simply use any item that you've already gathered, like dirt or wood or anything like that. Here I'll just go ahead and use my cragwood, and I'll use this pile here, so I'll use my mouse wheel to go over, or I could hit the number 6 button. I want to take a step back. You want to highlight wherever you want to put the wood. So here I'm going to go a little bit closer to this tree and put it like maybe right here. Okay, so if I step right here and I try to right click the mouse button to place that item, again left click would be suck this item in. I don't want to do that. I want to place the bark. So instead of left clicking, I will hit my right mouse button and place that bark. However, notice it's not doing anything. I'm hitting my right mouse button, but it's not placing that tree bark. So that just means you're too close. That's all that means. So all you need to do is take a quick step back, get back a little bit, give it room, and then you can place that part of the tree. Now what I like to do here to climb up is just jump on top of it, and I can place another one and climb as high as I want really quickly, as long as I have enough of these items in my inventory. So to place another one on top and climb up higher, the easiest way to do this is hit the space bar to jump, and while you're up in the air, just right click the mouse to place another piece of wood. So I'll do that right here. Space, place, space, oops, space, place, space, place, space, place, and you'll get better at that as you do it more. But that's probably the easiest way to jump up here and, you know, gather some of these resources. Now here I want to go over there and get that one. I can't quite reach it. I can either, you know, pull down my my bark, or I can try to jump over here. Now you'll need to have 2 slots available to jump up there, because your body is basically 2 or 3 blocks high. I'm trying to jump and my head bounced off the top of there. That's why I had to gather some of those leaves to get there. So this is about the easiest way to get this particular yellow flower, is to just kind of move those leaves and kind of climb over this way. But I do want to get all this wood back. I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to take a step right back onto this wood, and then to go back down and get my wood back, I'll just simply left click. And I'll hold down my left mouse button actually and gather all this wood up while I move down. So now I've got all my wood back, and I was able to get up there and get 2 yellow flowers. Now I want to show you guys how to craft your first item here before we end this 3rd video. One thing that can be useful while you're running around the forest here is to craft a basic potion that's going to heal you for a lot more than your little red mushrooms that you can find. And the way to craft these is to simply find mushrooms and find at least a yellow flower or 2. Okay, so once you do that, go ahead and hit E to bring your inventory. You can also check your inventory at any time by hitting E and see what's in here. You see I have 2 yellow flowers. I have my red mushrooms down here, which they can be used if they're in your hotbar. So once you're looking at your inventory, go ahead and go to basic crafting. From here you can craft some basic stuff. So here you see that I've gathered some moss and some cragwood. That's what's required to actually build your basic moss torches for the nighttime. And it tells you here, if I click on it, it'll tell you over here to make 8 moss torches. All I need is 1 moss and 1 cragwood. The first number shows you how many of that item you have in your inventory. The second number shows you how many you need to actually craft this item. So if I use 1 moss and 1 cragwood, I'll actually make 8 moss torches. If you get this stuff, I would go ahead and do that, because by creating these moss torches, you're going to learn how to make the next advanced, the more advanced torch later on. So notice I heard a click, and to see the moss torches in my inventory, I just need to go back, hit my E button, and you'll see that I have 8 moss torches now that I can place. If I want to place these items, I'll simply drag these to my inventory. I'll put them where my teleporter is for now. I'll go back, and if I want to place these around, I can simply place them anywhere I want by, you know, just looking at it, and then highlight the torches in my bar, in my hotbar there, and then right click again to place. Just like you place a block of wood with the right mouse button here to place this torch, I'll just right click. And that'll actually place that torch right there and light the area up a little bit, especially if it was darker. But I don't want to place that torch there. It does me no good. I'm going to go ahead and suck that thing back up into my inventory, and now I got it again. Now another item that's very useful when you're first starting out in here is to gather at least, you know, a couple of those yellow flowers and those red mushrooms that you see laying on the grass in the forest. Go ahead and hit E again, go back to basic crafting, and go to your second item, which is a basic health potion. And you'll see here that to make 4 of these basic health potions, I only need 1 mushroom and 1 yellow flower. That's a very good deal, because these potions heal about 2 or 3 times as much as just 1 red mushroom. And you get 4 of them for just 1 mushroom and 1 yellow flower, so that's a really good deal. So I'm going to go ahead and craft me 8 of those until I have no more yellow flowers here. I can't craft any more because I'm missing the, you know, the requirements. So if I go back, I should have 8 of those basic potions. I'll check my inventory, and I do have 8 of these. You want to drag these down to your inventory so that they can be used to heal you. Now if I had used a red mushroom, for example, if you look at my health bar, it's not all the way full. If I had used red mushrooms, it probably would have taken 2 or 3 just to fill my health bar up. But now with these basic health potions, I can take 1, again highlight it in your taskbar or hit the 5 button, and then right click again to use it. You'll see that just 1 of those health potions filled my health bar all the way up to full. So definitely they're a good value there. So if you can find those yellow flowers and some red mushrooms, you can make some of those and kind of heal yourself so you don't die too soon. Okay, continue to look around the forest for different items like this red mushroom, the brown mushroom there in the dirt. You know, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab this, jump up here on this piece of grass and grab this red flower. Any colored flowers again. Again, you're just looking for stuff that looks different. After you get all your wood, you know, a bunch of cragwood. And here's one of those chests. This is excellent because I found one of these random chests. And again, to come to it, You just interact with it by F or the right mouse button, open it up, and you'll see, look what I found. I found a wood sword. I also found melted wax, and I found another moss torch. So I can either select which item I want or take all. I'm going to go ahead and take all. And now what I can do is I have a weapon now a lot better than my basic vine. I can simply right click that or drag it down to my weapon slot. And now you look at my picture, you can see that I've got a better weapon. And this is going to help me out a lot. Okay. Now, normally you would, those chests are good because normally you would have to have a crafting table to build that. We haven't built a crafting table yet, but it is something that's available. It's the third item that's available in your basic crafting. Once you build this crafting table, you're able to open up a whole lot more recipes that you can make a whole lot more stuff with. So you're going to continue to look for stuff. Look for, quite a few of these vines. These vines are definitely useful. I would try to get at least 2 trees worth of those. And just look for anything else that looks unique around the forest. All the different colored flowers, red mushrooms, brown mushrooms, these vines, the moss. I think that's about it. Anything that looks different is basically what you're looking for. Oh, and definitely get some of this. You definitely want to get the beeswax. Try to get at least 8 or 10 of those if you can. And remember, I showed you how to climb up if you need to climb up and get those. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up so this video is not too long. I'm going to stop it right here, and I'll see you back with episode number 4 of a beginner's guide to Creativerse right here. You see that I see some beeswax way up there in the tree, quite a ways up. So maybe we'll do that in our next video, is go over there and get that. Be sure you leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube below. Let me know what you think of this video. Be sure you click in the upper right hand corner. You can give me a like or a dislike up there on the video. I definitely appreciate the likes, and especially if you do like the video. And if you're not a subscriber to me yet, be sure you hit that subscribe button in the upper right as well, so that you know when all my future videos are posted right there on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you back with episode number 4 of Beginner's Guide to Creativerse here real soon. Thanks for watching.